Come here, son, nephew, young man. Let me holler at you. Young men, and if you are older man, middle-aged man, men, period. If no man has taught you how to regulate your emotions, you got to learn it. If you don't learn to regulate and control your emotions, they will get the best of you. And eventually they'll get the best of you at the worst possible time, where it's going to cost you. Now, I say that you need to learn this from a man because the way that men emote and the way that women emote should be different. Naturally, it is different, but since we live in a society full of broken homes and men spending more time around women than they are around men, the lines have become blurred and you can't tell the difference unless you know. Men have to lead others. Men have to be strong when others are weak. Men have to make tough decisions, and a lot of times nobody's going to be happy with the result until years later sometimes, or at least sometime later, when you can not only see the results but understand what happened, especially when you're dealing with children. One of my children is not happy with me right now because that particular child feels better when that child is with their mother. And what that child was hoping in a conversation one day was that I would be more nice, friendly, mother-like than the child's mother. And that ain't gonna happen. That ain't my job. My job is to make sure my children can function, to make sure young man children know how to function like young men and can take care of a family, work, own, create, save, invest, and pass on. And I need to make sure that, and this goes for my students too, to be honest with you, because they don't realize I give them a lot of the same information I give my own biological children. But for female children, they need to understand how those things work, but they need to understand how to judge, attract, keep, and be a helpmeet to the same type of man I just described, a protector and a provider. If I've produced women who go out into the world thinking they need to be men, I screwed up. So at least they cross my path, they get to hear it. Now they can make their own choice. See, it's feminine in a man to jump out there and say, oh, well, women can do what men can do. That ain't true. You don't believe me? If they had a draft right now today, how many women you think finna go jump in, fight in a war in the draft? They're gonna be, hey, I don't care if they feminist or the alphabet group or whatever. You say, hey, it's the real thing. Basic training, put them boots on. You finna learn hand-to-hand combat. You finna learn real combat. You about to crawl under the barbed wire with the bullets flying over your head. You're gonna train in the rain. You're gonna carry that rucksack. And you're gonna do what it takes. Because now it's on you. Hey, you're gonna see them masculine women all of a sudden putting dresses and lipstick on. But I digress. The problem with emotions is they can lead you one way or the other, up, down, left, right, in circles. If they're out of control, you have to think, young men. You have to be logical. You have to maintain your composure. You have to choose when you're going to make your move. See, your emotions can make you move out of turn. Your emotions can make you move when either you're not ready or you shouldn't be moving. And I hope I got the resolution right on this video. If not, if it's choppy and grainy, it ain't about the video, it's about the content. But it is what it is at this point, because I'm not about to redo it. Anyhow, I see so many men who blow opportunities and ruin potential, because sometimes, fellas, certain opportunities you get during a certain time frame, and when that window closes, it doesn't open back up. Some things need to happen while you're young. Some things need to happen in certain time frames. Some things need to happen in certain sequences. So for example, I'm not gonna go out of my way to be trying to talk y'all into being athletes, but look, that football and basketball and rapping and all that, you need to do that in your early 20s. If you go through your college age years and you still playing, Division III, or you sitting on the bench Division I, or you still call yourself trying to walk on somewhere for the NFL, man, hang it up, partner. That ain't finna happen. That window is gone. Either you made it or you didn't. And your emotions may say, well, I feel like I feel like I can do it. I ain't got shit to do with the real world. Either you can or you can't. And if you ain't proven by a certain time, you'll know it. Them scouts would have came looking for you long ago if you were NFL material. I'm sorry, I got text messages coming through. I forgot to get on airplane mode. Anyway, you might feel like you don't like your job. You might feel like you don't want to go to work. Well, you know what? The energy company, if you owe any type of mortgage or some type of note or rent or whatever, and people don't care what you feel. You got my money or not? Because if not, we're going to do the paperwork and get your tail up out of here. Don't nobody care about what you feel. They gave you a cutoff notice because you forgot to pay the bill. Well, I feel like you should give me another day because I forgot. Man, don't nobody give a damn about what you feel, bro. It doesn't work that way. And spending too much time up under some women, a lot of times men feel that way. Now, you got some women, I'm not going to lie. You do have a few out there that get it. But chances are them women are like, look, you either need to go stay with your dad, your uncle, your grandpa, spend more time around them or something. And they're not trying to force you to stay up under a woman or learn the ways of a woman. Sometimes things need to happen in sequence. If you're going to have a kid, it's best to do some type of marriage or marital contract before you have that kid if you're going to do it. I see a lot of men who are like, hey, let's wait till we 50, 60, 70 to have kids. Okay, yeah, you will be most likely more financially stable, mentally too. But bro, you gonna be old. 60 and 70 trying to chase around a teenager, I don't know, man. I don't know, but I know this much. You're on the tail end of life at that point. So not only will you be weaker, slower, less energetic, even though you felt like you wouldn't be, your body gonna tell you something different. And God forbid you leave that kid in this world with no father because your tail done got too old. How did your feelings affect the next generation? See, the Bible says the sins of a man can affect the next generations. But the Bible also tells you, I think it's Jeremiah 17:9, to not trust your heart because it's wicked and deceitful above all things. And I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but you can sure look it up. It's there in the book of Jeremiah. You need to go by facts, figures, statistics, probability, and things that make sense, not how you feel, because you can feel one way and 30 seconds later feel another way. I could let this window down and feel the air blowing in my hand and let it back up, and now I don't. Does that really change anything other than how I feel? I hope this made sense to you. If it doesn't, if I need to expound, You can email me at manofmanytalents430@gmail.com. It's also in the about section of the title. When you go to the page, this channel's page, in the about section. I don't know if I said that right. And you know what, if I didn't, you know what I'm talking about. Logic over emotions, gentlemen. Control your emotions. Regulate your emotions. If you don't have a father in your life, you find a coach, your granddad, your uncle, your neighbor's dad, whoever, whatever man that can hold it together and can achieve a goal and who can control his emotions, and you start learning how that works, because your emotions can ruin you. And I want to see you successful, not feeling one way and then feeling sorry for yourself later because you didn't know how to control your feelings to begin with.